India's modern history. India has undergone a remarkable transformation since gaining independence from Great Britain in 1947. As a newly sovereign nation, India faced immense challenges including territorial disputes, communal violence, food shortages, illiteracy, and rampant poverty. However, through democratic institution building, economic reforms, and strong leadership, India has emerged as one of the world's fastest growing major economies and a rising geopolitical power. Some key events and developments in India's modern history include gaining independence in 1947 after decades of nonviolent resistance led by Mahatma Gandhi and the Indian National Congress Party. This ended nearly 200 years of British colonial rule. Partitioning with Pakistan occurring at independence, resulting in one of the largest human migrations ever and violent clashes. Territorial disputes with Pakistan leading to multiple wars and ongoing conflict over the Kashmir region. The promulgation of a constitution in 1950 establishing India as a secular democratic republic. Prime Ministers Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi leading India through critical early years and embarking on socialist policies. Conflict with China in 1962 over disputed Himalayan borders. Indo-Pakistan War in 1971 and India's intervention in Bangladesh's War of Independence. India's non-aligned foreign policy during the Cold War and close ties with the Soviet Union. Emergence of communal tensions and insurgencies, like the Khalistan movement and Assam separatism. Accelerating economic reforms and liberalization policies in the 1990s. Dynamic growth of technology, pharmaceutical and service sectors in recent decades. Challenges of poverty, inequality, illiteracy, corruption and discrimination persisting despite progress. India's unique history and rapid changes have made it a regional power and an influential voice in global affairs today. The world's largest democracy continues to balance tradition and modernity in the 21st century. India was under British rule during World War I and contributed over 1 million troops. India sent over 2.5 million troops to fight for the British in World War II. On June 3, 1947, the partitioning of British India into India and Pakistan was announced. India and Pakistan became independent nations on August 15, 1947. Jawaharlal Nehru became independent India's first Prime Minister. A major population exchange occurred between India and Pakistan after independence. The First Indo-Pakistani War broke out in 1947 over Kashmir. The Kashmir War lasted from 1947 to 1948. Jammu and Kashmir's fate was uncertain as it had a Hindu leader but Muslim majority. Pakistan mobilized militia to seize Kashmir, prompting India's intervention. Kashmir acceded to India in October 1947 after the Maharaja requested assistance. Fighting continued until a UN-brokered ceasefire on January 1, 1949. Manipur and Tripura also acceded to India in 1949. India's constitution came into effect on January 26, 1950. India's first democratic elections were held 1951 to 1952. Nehru was re-elected for a second term as PM in the 1951 election. Nehru's government passed reforms improving rights for women and lower castes. A Soviet-inspired 5-year economic plan was implemented under Nehru. The States Reorganization Act reorganized state borders along linguistic lines. India launched an atomic energy program in 1954. India's first computer was installed in 1955. As part of the non-aligned movement, India maintained relations with both the US and USSR. India annexed Goa from Portugal in 1961 after failed negotiations. The Sino-Indian War broke out in 1962 over a Himalayan border dispute. Nehru died in 1964 and was succeeded as PM by Lal Bahadur Shastri. The Second Indo-Pakistani War occurred in 1965 over Kashmir. The Tashkent Agreement ended the 1965 war. Shastri mysteriously died after signing the Tashkent Agreement. Indira Gandhi, Nehru's daughter, became Prime Minister in 1966. In 1967, Gandhi shifted towards socialist policies on her advisor's recommendation. Gandhi nationalized banks to increase her popularity. Gandhi was re-elected with a larger majority in 1971. India intervened in Bangladesh's War of Independence in 1971. This led to the Third Indo-Pakistani War in 1971. India signed a friendship treaty with the USSR in 1971. Sikkim voted to become an Indian state in 1975 after a referendum. Gandhi declared a state of emergency in 1975, suspending civil liberties. Accusations of corruption and dictatorship caused Gandhi's 1977 election defeat. The Janata Party came to power under Prime Minister Morarji Desai in 1977. Charan Singh briefly became PM in 1979 as the Janata coalition collapsed. Gandhi and Congress returned to power in 1980 elections. Gandhi was assassinated by Sikh bodyguards in 1984 after Operation Blue Star. Anti-Sikh riots broke out after Gandhi's assassination. Gandhi's son Rajiv became the next prime minister. Rajiv Gandhi led reforms and improved US relations in the late 1980s. Rajiv Gandhi was implicated in a Swedish arms deal kickback scandal. V.P. Singh became PM in 1989 as Congress lost popularity. More government unrest followed until P.V. Narasimha Rao took power in 1991. Rao made major economic reforms but lost support due to scandals and riots. The BJP came to power in the 1990s, further improving ties with the US. Attempts at better India-Pakistan relations failed after a 2001 summit. India had a population of nearly 1.4 billion people by the early 2000s. India has a rich history but is still developing as an independent nation. The British Raj ended with independence in 1947. Territorial disputes with Pakistan led to multiple wars. Prime ministers like Nehru and Gandhi led India through critical early years. India aligned with the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Economic reforms were made starting in the 1990s. India has a diverse population with many languages and religions. Democratic elections have been held since independence. India joined the Allies in both World War I and World War II. The Constitution established India as a sovereign republic. Goa was annexed from Portugal in 1961. Sikkim voted to join India in 1975. Indira Gandhi declared a state of emergency in the 1970s. Rajiv Gandhi succeeded his mother as Prime Minister. Communal violence has erupted several times, like the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. Rao initiated economic liberalization policies in the 1990s. BJP rule saw improved relations with the United States. Kashmir has been disputed between India and Pakistan since 1947. The Janata Party briefly held power in the late 1970s. Singh served as a short-term PM in 1979. Gandhi was assassinated by her Sikh bodyguards in 1984. Singh became PM after Gandhi's assassination. Desai was the first non-Congress PM of India. Nehru promoted reforms like abolition of caste discrimination. Shastri succeeded Nehru as PM after his death in 1964. The States Reorganization Act restructured state boundaries. India intervened in the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971. The first Indian computer was installed in 1955.